You've been lied to about your body type. For years, fitness culture has pushed these labels like ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph as if they should determine how you should train. But the truth is, these categories are outdated junk science. The real answer comes from something called anthropometry, which is the science of body proportions. Coaches and trainers are now using it to match training to your unique structure, and this has become the new science of training right for your body type. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to apply it so you can finally find the perfect exercises designed to help you train smarter, safer, and stronger for the rest of your life. Also, if you watch all the way to the end of the video, I've got a really cool gift that will show you exactly how to find the right exercises for your body type in less than 60 seconds. So anthropometry is the science of measuring body proportions like limb length, torso length, and hip width, and then to tailor exercises to fit your structure. In simple terms, it's about understanding how your body is built and using that knowledge to guide your training. Let's say you have long arms. You'll move differently in the gym than someone with shorter arms.
How you doing, Rex?
Were you scared?
Let's say you have a long torso. Your squat mechanics won't look like someone with a shorter torso. Now, these aren't limitations, they're blueprints. And once you understand your blueprint, you can train a lot smarter. Now, I have to mention that this new science is explained in the book Strength Training for All Body Types by Lee Boyce and Melody Schoenfeld. And honestly, I think it's one of the most underrated fitness books to come out in the last 5 years. It explains anthropometry in a way that's practical, relatable, and it's eye-opening. So throughout this video, I'm going to share clips from an interview I did with the authors where they break down why this approach is such a game changer.
There are certain body types that might be more conducive to certain kinds of lifts that we choose. And so if we don't have what's most ideal or most optimal, what modifications should we make? What should we do to better our chances of success with it and lessen our chances of injury with it?
And so we have to kind of broaden our idea of what perfect form is, because maybe there isn't a perfect form. There's a perfect form for you.
All right, now you have an idea of what anthropometry is. I want to talk about what it isn't. Now, you probably heard of these three categories before, which are ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. This is called the somatype theory, and it's complete bullshit. Now, the system came from the 1940s from a psychologist named William Sheldon, who claimed that your body type not only defined your physique, but also your personality. Within a few years, scientists rejected it because it was oversimplified, inaccurate, and in many cases, damaging to people's psychology. And the funny thing is, I see some fitness influencers using this to determine the right exercises for people's body types still. And just think about it. If someone believed that they were an ectomorph, they would have this belief that it would be harder for them to build muscle. Or if they identify as an endomorph, therefore they will think that they always will have a little bit of pudge or always be overweight. Now, this is the somatype myth in action, and all it does is create ceilings that don't actually exist. Your body is not fixed in some category. It changes with training, nutrition, and lifestyle. And this new science of anthropometry is the exact opposite. It embraces individuality, saying to measure, observe, and adapt. The key thing to understand is that training is not one size fits all. This reminds me of this video where I talked about the 5 exercises that we should not be doing after the age of 40. And in the comments, a lot of people said that, no, you must back squat. No, you must deadlift. And I completely disagree with that. I believe these movements are mandatory, but not the exercises. Imagine we have 2 people of the same height. One has long legs and a shorter torso, the other has short legs and a long torso. Even though they are the same height, their squats are going to look completely different. One person may find it hard to stay upright, while the other person might drop into perfect form. And this is true across all movements. Your arm length affects your pressing strength. Hip width influences squat stance. Torso length affects your deadlift positioning. And the research is actually coming around to this. So there was a study done on weightlifters that found that shorter arms and legs can help athletes lift heavier weights by making the lift easier to perform. On the other hand, people who have longer limb lengths can build more muscle mass but may need to move the weight further. A pilot study was done on the potential relationship between leg bone length and sprint performance and found that the ratio of tibia length to femur length significantly correlated better with performance in the 400-meter sprint. And we see this all over the sports world where athletes with longer wingspans who are taller will naturally gravitate towards sports like volleyball and basketball. On the other hand, we have athletes who are shorter in stature, who may have shorter limbs, they will do better in events like weightlifting or horse racing. The key idea is that exercises chosen specifically for your unique structure will feel better, help you get stronger, and also help you avoid injury because they are more attuned to what your body can naturally do.
The first place to look is to consider like just the work equals force times distance equation. How does that apply to things like loading? Things like rest interval that we choose might be easier to do a set of pull-ups, for example, if you're someone Melody's size, compared to somebody doing the equivalent who is 6'8" and 300 pounds.
Throwing sports, you want to have long arms. Basketball, probably want to be tall. Every sport you can think of, there is a type that's going to excel at that sport naturally. And other people who don't have that body type are going to have to figure something out to get better at it.
So by now, you're probably wondering, okay, so Dan, how exactly do I put this into practice? Here is a simple 3-step process, starting with Step 1, measure your body. Grab a tape measure. Measure your arm length, leg length, and torso length. Even if you don't have exact numbers, just noticing proportions like your arms are longer compared to your torso will give you useful insight. Now, Step 2 is to assess your leverage. So pay attention to which exercises feel awkward and which ones feel natural. Now, in my case, this was an eye-opener for me because I always thought the high bar squat was the quintessential squat exercise that everyone needed to do. But in my case, I would feel a little bit more in my lower back because I had a longer torso. So when I switched up doing back squats for belt squats or front squats, they felt a lot more natural for me to sit in that pocket. Now, the final step is to adjust and test. We want to use our measurements and also observations so we can tweak these exercises. So don't force yourself into the form you see someone else using. Your best form might look a lot different, and that's okay. And by the way, if this 3-step process sounds too complicated, just keep watching to the end because I'm going to share a gift that will help you find your body type and the right exercises in less than 60 seconds. Now, one of the best ways to assess and adjust your form is to simply just take a video of yourself while you're lifting.
Videotape yourself from several angles so that you understand what you look like in relation to what the textbook shows. And then you can say, okay, my body doesn't look like that. Why doesn't my body look like that? Is it because I can't do that? Or is it because it is uncomfortable when I do that? What does my body look like when I feel best doing this movement?
Looking at your wingspan and comparing that to your height and seeing whether or not the number is greater, the same, or shorter. That one measurement will give you an idea of whether or not your arms might be classified as longer versus shorter or kind of average. Another nice loose approximation would be taking a look at from hip to floor, what your leg length is, and whether or not that makes up more than half of your body's height.
So in order to make this crystal clear, I want to share with you a few quick examples. So if you have longer arms, deadlifts and rows might feel great. Maybe use a sumo stance if conventional deadlifts feel awkward. For pressing, you may want to widen your grip or consider a neutral grip in order to shorten the range of motion and put less pressure on your shoulders. If you have short arms, bench pressing will often feel strong, so you may want to narrow your grip in order to protect your shoulders. Or for pulling, conventional deadlifts may feel more natural than sumo. If you have a long torso, upright squats and overhead presses tend to feel better. But be extra careful with bent over movements since your torso angle will be greater. If you have a short torso, hip hinge movements like deadlifts are often a strength. Now, squats may require a little bit more attention due to hip positioning. If you have wide hips, a wider stance in your squats and deadlifts usually provides more stability and strength. Now, this isn't about boxing yourself in. It's about learning how to make exercises fit you. We don't want to try to force our body into a mold it wasn't designed for.
How about learning the right fit for you as early as possible and going with that for life? I literally just finished training a 13-year-old, this kid that I'm working with. He's a young ball player, and I'm trying to inculcate that into him from this young age.
Well, I think the biggest myth is that like you have to do certain exercises. I think that's the big one. Like everybody has to do these things, or you had all of the gym bros piss at you for not back squatting. Why do you, is there a law that I didn't know about? Like, why do you have to back squat if back squats don't feel good? Like, why don't you do something else and still get the same benefit?
Now, by now, you know that this whole Soma type system is complete bullshit. It doesn't help you train smarter, and it doesn't reflect who you really are. The new science of anthropometry is, on the other hand, legit. It helps you understand how to exercise safely, maximize your strengths, and how to unlock your full potential. And if you want to dive deeper in this, I cannot recommend enough the Strength Training for All Body Types by Lee Boyce and Melody Schoenfeld. It is seriously one of the most underrated books, and also it's a must-read if you want to take control of your training. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description below. And what we got to understand is that our bodies are unique, and your training should be. Also, your nutrition should be too. So let's forget the labels. Let's take the time to understand your build and train in a way that matches who you are. This is how you get stronger, safer, and more confident in the gym. In general, the best workout is the one that works for you. Now, for everybody that made it this far into the video, I got a really cool gift for you that can help you put all of this into action. It's a ChatGPT prompt that you can use to discover your best exercises for your body type. Now, all you need to do is just use a prompt, plug in your photo, do it like this, and you will get a personalized exercise selection based on your body type. One thing I will mention is that the prompt is not perfect, but it will guide you and put you in the right direction. So if you want that prompt, comment below the word workout, and I'm going to send you the prompt right away. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.